Our next guest is an Olympian, a world champion winter triathlete, fitness coach, Catholic speaker, founder of Fit Catholic Mom, and mother of 8. Joining us now from Idaho is Rebecca Dussault. Rebecca, welcome to CFN Live. I'm so glad you are here today, and that we will be talking about, faith, family, fitness. But first, I have to start with that beautiful family of yours, mom of 8. This is just amazing. The ages of your children are?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, that photo is slightly outdated because there's a grandchild in there and not one of our newest. So, yeah, we've got them from 24 down to 1-year-old.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you're now a grandmother too of 2?
To 2. Mm-hmm.
And just so busy doing all the things you're doing. But I want to back up because when you were a teenager, when you were a kid growing up, you're elite cross-country skier. And so much of your story, your beautiful story, is so faith-related. I just take everybody back to when you were a teenager. And, you're at top of your game as a cross-country skier, and you retired at the age of 18, first retired. Just tell, and that had to do with your faith. Can you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the crux of my story is as a teenager, just developing as an athlete and experiencing a lot of different sports, truly. Swimming competitively for 7 years, being a top gymnast at my high school, all sorts of things had my attention in the sporting world, but none so much as cross-country skiing. And one pivotal experience worth relating is our priest used to take us on incredible adventures. He was quite outdoorsy, and he had us skiing by light of the moonlight into the wilderness. And he actually said the mass for us in just full moon. And the snow was so deep that we actually had to ski up to receive the Eucharist because we couldn't step off our skis. We would sink into the snow up to our waist. So I thought, well, I've never received Jesus in the pool, nor did I ever on the balance beam, but this is pretty cool. Anyway, it was a healthy family sport. It really attracted great families, and I just thrived in it. I loved the competitiveness. I loved the travel. As I got better and better at it, it just kept expanding its horizons for me. First, I won at the state level in Colorado, where I grew up. Then I won at the national level, and then I was off to the World Championships as a 17-year-old. And I was homeschooled, so it was very conducive to as much training and travel as I needed. And it was a beautiful life, just chasing sport, but not just sport. And as you'll know from my story, a retirement at 19 is not really what's typical, but I had loved sport up until that time, and then it was really being tainted by worldly influence, that of the U.S. ski team and just experiences abroad. I was traveling just really at the mercy of a lot of teammates and coaches, and not really with a Christian support, if you will, or even a Catholic teammate ever. And so it just became very wearing on my soul. And I recognized that, and I really, truly lost the joy in competition I would say in probably when I was 18, for about a year. I just struggled. What does it profit a woman if she gains the whole world through sport and loses her soul? And I didn't have that peace that said that this is on point with God's will. So yeah, long story short, I did retire, or so I thought, and ended up rebounding back into the sport.
You rebounded when you were 21 years old, right?
Yes. Yeah. I had our son 2 years after I retired and 2 years into our marriage. And then I just very innocently started skiing again, just to get back in shape and enjoy being outdoors, and having him in the front pack initially and then the backpack as he got bigger, and just skiing for fun. And then I competed because we had a race come to our local area. And I just could not get into the ski race, and I won, and I beat who would become the 4-time NCAA champion again that year. She was a formidable racer from Estonia who was already a 2-time Olympian, and I beat her. And I was like, wait, Lord, that's funny, not funny. What are we doing here? And my husband said, you got to ski race again. You have a talent that has really been brushed under the rug, and we've got to get out there and be the salt and the light, and we can do it as a family. And I thought, oh yeah, yikes. I just had really put my skis away and didn't think that was going to be part of our lives. But God wrote a totally different story that really blessed me and continues to bless me and my family.
Yeah.
I continue to coach not only my own children, but the local race team, and just have an impact through sport, because it is truly a school of moral excellence if rightly applied.
Yeah, first of all, I just love that priest for giving you that beautiful memory and that moment in your life. And this calling for cross country skiing and sports, but also that you realize that I got to continue with this gift. And I'm just a little bit back when you did what you did. You're a mom, you're traveling with a baby, and you're an athlete. Back then, it had to pave the way for other mothers and athletes out there to do what you did.
It did. I didn't necessarily realize it at the time, but looking back, I can tell that I had to really cut the red tape, as it were, of doing sports, specifically this sport, without really the backing of a team that understood not only being a parent athlete but being the mother. It was all things new. The ski team was
Love that
somewhat,
picture. That's great.
yeah, right. That's my. Let's see, that was 2 years. No, I'm like, that was my last pregnancy on our farm, where I'm
Wow.
skiing. My husband snowcat grooms 3K on our own property here. But yeah, it just was a lot of cutting of red tape. And even at the Olympics, people say, how was the Olympics? I'm like, oh, it was so stressful. It was so stressful just to get my family to be able to participate in the ways that we were used to after 2.5 years of traveling the world together year round. For whatever the sport demanded of me, because I was always, daughter of the church first, then mother, then wife, then mother, then athlete, and to keep that hierarchy of priorities straight. And so looking back, though, there was about 5 women at the top of the World Cup who all took a baby break. They announced that they would be back after they gave birth in a non-Olympic, non-World Championship year. They came back, and at that time, where I was cutting red tape, the World Cup figured it out, and they started rolling out the red carpet. So they'd have nurseries and some helpers, and just it became so much more accepted. And I would like to think that, yeah, traveling the way that I did and going through all of them, a massive amount of hurdles to bring a family on the road, that it really helped people to see that there are going to be women who can and will do both successfully to the praise of God's glory. And yeah, little things like having my children on the podium and just giving them the fullness of the experience too. I never wanted to go be mother, the athlete, without them, but really draw them into the experience. And so it continues. It's continued to morph as we've had more and more children and now grandchildren living on our same property here. And it's beautiful, but it's no less. It's a gift through sport to the next generation.
Very, Fit. Please tell everybody about Fit Catholic Mom, what you are doing, and how they can find out more about that, because we can get involved today with that, right? Tell moms to get up and out, and how.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Fit Catholic Mom was just born of being asked, how do you do what you do? What is this about? And, for me, it's like, this is an extension of what I do every day, is really to find my own physical health, mental health, and obviously spiritual well-being. Holiness is the goal, but to do that, we've got to integrate the body and the soul. And really to do that well is sometimes takes a training. People have not grown up with knowing how to be sporty or healthy or athletic or fit, as it were, but without the cult of the body creeping in. Likewise, to be so spiritually minded that we forget that the flesh is just an integral component in this. We've got to take care of this temple. And when we bring those two realities together, it's a very powerful witness from our own lives. So teaching women to do that, teaching women who are, pressed for time, as we all are really today, but as mamas who just don't find the time for themselves, but they're the most needed person. They're just, without the mom being healthy, happy, and holy, how does she form the next generation? I don't know.
Yeah.
So really helping her unpack that in a way that is really aligned with what she does have time to do and does have energy to do. Because you could run down to any gym and say, yeah, I'll show up for an hour and a half every day. Well, how long is a mom of 7 or 8 or not 10 or 2, going to keep that up? Maybe not long enough to actually see results. So really respecting that she needs a fitness method from home or at home that integrates her family into parts of it and really helps her to do this sustainably. That's the long-term lifestyle goal.
Rebecca, your story is inspirational. I think it will inspire other moms. And I know you're a motivational speaker as well with CatholicSpeakers.com. So if anybody wants you to come speak at times, if you're in the area, you could do that. But please tell everybody how they can find Catholic Fit Mom.
Yeah, you
Catholic
can always
mom.
find me at Fit Catholic Mom, both on my website, fitcatholicmom.com, also social media, Facebook and Instagram at Fit Catholic Mom, and then, Rebecca at fitcatholicmom.com. But yes, I love to get out there and speak, whether it's to youth or to women, and to really inspire people to take up the call of the church to harmonize the whole human person. Why? For the praise of his glory, and the body is involved. So love to train on that, teach on that, and inspire.
Body, mind, and soul. Rebecca, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.